Before we begin, viewer discretion is advised. This is for entertainment purposes only.
Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass have already proven their incompetence and poor leadership during the Los Angeles wildfires. Now, as we experience rampant lawlessness and civil unrest, it's never been more clear.
Tyrus.
What I saw,
Yeah.
what it looked to me like he was negotiating with a deaf prostitute.
Picture this. Mel Gibson bursts onto the scene like he's back in Mad Max Governor Edition. Then comes Tyrus, fresh from what looks like a WWE showdown. And suddenly, Gavin Newsom finds himself in the middle of a roast no one signed up for. These two didn't just call him out, they delivered a full-on performance, dripping with sarcasm and flair. Buckle up, because this isn't politics as usual. It's Hollywood energy colliding with a heavyweight reality check.
Of turmoil, and I asked my fellow Angelenos, why are Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass still in office? How much more of their destructive decision-making masquerading as leadership are we going to tolerate? It's time to take back our community and our state and put the power and the privilege in the hands of competent leaders whose goals are to protect us and the way of life this nation was founded.
Before we dive in, don't forget to smash that like button and hit subscribe. You definitely don't want to miss this one. Mel Gibson has never been the type to quietly sip tea in the corner. No, he's the guy who storms in, flips the table, and turns the moment into a scene straight out of an action movie. But this time, his latest headline moment isn't about epic battles or movie sets. It's about stepping into the real-life drama surrounding Governor Gavin Newsom.
Back and watch the tape.
Yes.
He literally goes, I want some of this, then you do some of this, and I'll do some of that back to you, and then we'll do this, and then I'll pay you, and then we'll do it again.
True.
And then she kept saying, no. Okay, how about this? You do this one first, then we do this one, then we give a little back and forth.
California's governor, known for his polished image and confident style, has found himself pulled into a storyline even Hollywood couldn't have scripted. On one side, you've got Mel Gibson, the chaos grenade, and on the other, Tyrus, the powerhouse with a mic. Together, they've formed a tag team that calls out Newsom in a way that feels straight out of a political drama. You know things are getting real when your sharpest critics aren't rival politicians, but a Hollywood legend and a former wrestler turned commentator who doesn't hold back when it comes to calling out nonsense.
Did he leave out anything? I think there's about 100 other reasons too.
Well, you can't, it's not his words when he speaks.
Yeah.
You have to watch him closely. And some genius decided not to film him any lower than the shoulder.
Yes. Did you? Yes.
So what did he do?
You couldn't see the hands.
No, but he sent Morse code.
So why is Governor Newsom in the spotlight? Simple, critics say California's been running more like an amusement park where the rides need repairs, the bathrooms are closed, and parking still costs a fortune. Instead of tackling those issues, he's often seen focusing on image and presentation. Mel and Tyrus had enough of the chaos, and when they spoke up, it wasn't just throwing shade. It was a full-on spotlight moment.
Governor Gavin Newsom and LA Mayor Karen Bass, well, they were also suggesting that LA was under control. They had it covered while, of course, LA was essentially burning. And they've been blaming Donald Trump for all the chaos in LA, while Gavin Newsom has been trying to emerge as the strong leader of the Democrats as he eyes off the presidency in 3 years' time. But actor Mel Gibson has spoken out, blasting the governor and the mayor, rightfully so, for their disastrous leadership.
Mel Gibson's angle is pretty clear. He spent decades in Hollywood watching how polished image and surface-level sincerity can take people far. So when he looks at California politics, it's no surprise he has thoughts. To him, Governor Newsom represents that picture-perfect image of progress that doesn't always line up with the reality people are living in. If Gibson is delivering his critique with precision, Tyrus is amplifying it with blunt humor. And this isn't just about political decisions, it's about perception. Newsom carries himself like someone preparing for a national spotlight, presenting a carefully crafted image of leadership. Meanwhile, many Californians are facing growing challenges, from affordability to public safety, and that contrast has become impossible to ignore. It's part Hollywood, part real life, and Gibson, for one, seems ready to call it like he sees it.
Yeah.
He's negotiating with a deaf prostitute.
Yeah.
Let's just stick with that.
Yeah.
More likely.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people have been coming out and calling out, you know, Gavin Newsom endlessly, and the biggest one of all is Mel Gibson. We all know that he is a very big, open critic of Gavin Newsom, and he continues to actually do that, and rightfully so, because we already know that there's a lot of issues going on right now within the state of California.
Picture this, Gibson points out the chaos, and Tyrus doubles down with that classic "we see you" grin. Meanwhile, Newsom's left standing in the middle of it all, not as the villain or the hero, but as the main character in a moment that suddenly feels like a political blooper reel. The real sting isn't that they called him out, it's how perfectly their critique landed, almost like a Hollywood roast that wrote itself. When two voices from completely different worlds, one from the big screen and one from the wrestling ring, unite to question your leadership, it's clear your brand of politics has crossed into meme territory. California has become the political version of a road full of potholes, expensive to fix, tough to drive through, and somehow still waiting for attention. Gibson delivers his take with cinematic punch, while Tyrus plays the perfect co-star, throwing in his trademark humor and sharp commentary. Together, they don't just critique Newsom. They turn the moment into pure showtime. The irony? Newsom's always had a spotlight, just not quite this kind of one.
Gibson lost his house in these wildfires. And what you just saw there was an effort to recall the governor and Mayor Bass. Does his star power in this matter?
It matters in the sense we're playing it now on national television on a highly rated Fox and Friends first show, and that has gone viral on social media. And meanwhile, the same day that Mel Gibson says what he says there, and he's correct on so many things as far as the management of wildfires, Gavin Newsom's approval on the handling of the wildfires is only 30%. Wow.
Instead of going easy, Gibson and Tyrus turn the moment into a full-on roast, with Newsom cast as the unintentional villain of the story. But this isn't a dark cinematic villain. It's more like a Scooby-Doo twist, where the mask comes off and it's just another political act exposed for what it really is. That's the punchline. Newsom aimed for a presidential audition, but somehow ended up playing the comic relief in someone else's script. Critics say he's mastered the art of presentation, projecting confidence while the state wrestles with real challenges. It's like watching a perfectly lit political drama where the plot keeps circling back to the same problems: crumbling roads, affordability struggles, and public frustration. Gibson calls it like he sees it: blunt, bold, and cinematic. Then Tyrus steps in, dropping his signature humor with wrestling-level timing. He doesn't need fancy phrasing. He just points out what many are already thinking, cutting straight through the spin. Together, the two turn political critique into entertainment gold, part commentary, part comedy, and entirely unfiltered.
You can watch it. Look at the blinking. Blink, look. Meet me at the house. Like, he's blinking. He's sending. I'm getting there. Hey, just so you know, I'm not wearing pants.
Ew.
And then, look, he's blinking. And then eventually, the camera guy realizing that he's signaling him, so he gets appalled, leans back, camera comes down, and then we're back to this. I'll do this for you. You do this for me a little. So he's saying whatever he's going to say. There it is. See? They couldn't hold him back. He's like, I'm not on film. Oh, I'm not. Nope.
What really makes this whole thing funny is how Governor Newsom probably never saw it coming. Politicians expect criticism from rivals, other governors, mayors, maybe a late-night host dropping a quick jab. But when Mel Gibson and Tyrus step in, that's a whole different league. Gibson calls it out with the intensity of a movie explosion, and Tyrus follows up with that unmistakable mix of humor and reality check. This isn't just about California, it's about the wider picture, the contrast between political image and everyday reality. California, once seen as the land of dreams, is now facing real challenges: rising costs, public frustration, and infrastructure strain. Gibson and Tyrus use that contrast to drive their point home, turning serious critique into viral-level commentary. Gibson brings cinematic energy to the table while Tyrus lands each punchline with perfect timing. Together, they blend satire with observation, highlighting how strong leadership isn't about presentation, but performance. It's less of a takedown and more of a spotlight moment, showing just how quickly public perception can shift when Hollywood storytelling meets real-world politics.
Well, speaking of full of isn't it? I'm sorry, I'm confused. He's still governor, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So he could do something about it. That's the most irritating thing, is like, why did anyone say with a follow-up where he's like, the homeless situation is ridiculous? Follow-up question, aren't you governor?
Yeah.
Like, that's the difference. That's the difference between the radical left and President Trump. He'll talk about something as it's
Because when your reputation turns into a punchline, the only thing left to hold on to is the illusion of control, and that's exactly what's being tested here. What makes this entire moment so fascinating is how it exposes the difference between presentation and performance. It's a classic case of mistaking appearance for substance. Governor Newsom has weathered controversy before, from policy backlash to pandemic-era criticism, but this time, the spotlight feels different. When Mel Gibson, known for his larger-than-life personality, violin Mel Gibson, known for his larger-than-life personality, turns his attention your way, and Tyrus amplifies it with heavyweight sarcasm. Even the most polished image starts to crack under the pressure. The timing couldn't be more cinematic. Just as Newsom was building momentum toward the national stage, along came Gibson and Tyrus with a reality check that hit harder than any press conference could. Instead of a presidential audition, it's turned into a blooper reel moment, one that leaves the audience questioning how a narrative, so carefully crafted, could unravel so fast.
How much more of their destructive decision-making masquerading as leadership are we going to tolerate? It's time to take back our community and our state and put the power and the privilege in the hands of competent leaders whose goals are to protect us and the way of life this nation was founded upon and promises to offer. That's all.
And the embarrassment isn't fading anytime soon. Gibson and Tyrus didn't just crack a few jokes. They built a masterclass in how to deconstruct the political myth around Newsom. They showed that you don't always need long debates or complex analysis. Sometimes all it takes is sharp wit, humor, and the courage to say what others tiptoe around. They pulled back the curtain, revealing a performance built more on polish than on authenticity. Gibson, having spent decades in Hollywood, knows a scripted act when he sees one, and to him, Newsom's public persona feels like a production crafted for optics more than impact. Meanwhile, Tyrus takes the whole Newsom for president idea and treats it like a comedy sketch, delivering punchline after punchline with heavyweight confidence. Together, they've turned what could have been a routine critique into a cultural moment, one part roast, one part reality check, and entirely unforgettable.
He's playing with us. Meet me at my house. You get mine. I get yours. It'll work out.
Paul, are they capable of soul searching? It feels like the party itself has no soul.
Yeah, I know, they have no soul. You know, it's a really interesting statement. If you just kind of, you can break it in two. He spends the whole first part of that saying, we lost because this. Essentially what he says is, folks, we were on the wrong side of every issue last.
The idea of Governor Newsom running the country feels like letting the guy who struggled with the golf cart take the wheel of a space shuttle, entertaining for a moment, but not exactly reassuring. His record reads like a highlight reel of California's toughest challenges, rising homelessness, economic strain, and policy misfires that never quite hit the mark. But what really stands out is how he handles criticism. Instead of tackling the issues head-on, he leans even harder into presentation, as if confidence alone could fix everything. It's like watching someone try to pass an exam by writing their name in glitter. Gibson sees straight through that kind of performance, dissecting it with the intensity of a man who's spent his life turning chaos into cinema. Tyrus adds the perfect contrast, dry, direct, and cutting through the noise with a single punchline. Together, they frame Newsom's political ambition as something caught between drama and comedy, a mismatch so glaring it practically writes itself. And here's the catch: Newsom can't really fight back. If he responds, it fuels the fire. If he stays silent, the roast keeps echoing. Either way, Gibson and Tyrus have cornered him in a narrative he can't easily escape, one where every move only makes the scene more memorable.